actually been a minute since I've said hi on here, but I want to get back to posting on YouTube, and I thought a really easy, chill way to do that would be to just update you guys on what I've been reading so far this summer and give you my thoughts and ratings on those books. And it feels like a really good time to do that because I'm kind of getting into that fall mindset. I know we still have like a month left of summer or something like that, but I know that the book community is kind of feeling this because I've been seeing lots of people post about it, like who's getting ready for autumn and the leaves changing and cozy vibes, and I am definitely including myself in that. I'm finally getting to the point, I've had a great summer, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready for sweaters and fuzzy socks and coffees outside with a breeze, and I just can't wait. So I'm kind of wrapping up my summerish content with this video, which feels really good. I hope you guys enjoy, and I would absolutely love to know if you felt the same way or even differently than me on any of the books that I talk about. Let's get into it. I'm honestly just gonna sit on the floor for this in this loft room that we have, which is actually Matt's office space as well as like our at night gaming space. So I don't usually actually feature this room in much because he works from home a lot. But I am feeling lazy and I don't want to go downstairs, and I'm gonna work out and do a little run on the treadmill as soon as I finish recording this. So we're just hanging here today. Yeah, so I want to go through and just give some thoughts on the books I've read so far this summer. I have some standout favorites and some really great recommendations, and then I have some that fell a little flat, but I don't like to be super harsh when it comes to books I don't enjoy because I just feel so strongly that every reader is so different, and I had some that just weren't for me, and that's fine. Let's see, I'm gonna pull up my Goodreads and we're gonna go in backwards order, and I'm gonna start with what I've read most recently. We just finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I feel like I am like Captain Holt, where he talks about how he willingly removes things from his mind to make space for other random details. That's me when it comes to reading. Once I'm done with a book, it's gone. Like I need the emotional capacity to invest in a new book. I can't keep holding on to all the details of the previous book. So I can like talk about vibes, I can talk about what I liked and didn't like, but if you want a really in-depth post-read book discussion, I'm gonna usually need refreshers. So keeping that in mind, I don't know why I'm opening Goodreads already. Like I have the books lined up in order, but I don't want to get my ratings wrong. So the most recent book I read, which I just finished the night before last, was a novel love story by Ashley Poston. And I've actually seen a lot of mixed reviews on this one. At first when it came out, I remember everybody was obsessed with it. Everybody loved the 7-year slip. I did too. And so there were really high hopes. I bought this on a whim. I actually broke my self-enforced book buying ban to get a copy of this one. And I went into it a little blind because by the time I had got the book, I had actually seen some reviews of people who were disappointed by it because they expected it to be much more of a, I guess, love story than it was, because it is, you know, a romance, a novel love story. It sounds like a romance. And here's the thing, it is though, but I understand why people could get bored. I saw several people who said they got like midway in and it was just moving too slow, because it does move slow. And then they just fell off with it. It fell a little flat. So let me give you a little background. The main character, Elsie, she is going to go on this trip by herself that her friends are supposed to be on with her, but everybody had to cancel, and she's on the way, and as happens in magical realistic type movies and shows and books, she's on the way to this trip and there's a storm happening. She has to pull off to the side, and all of a sudden she finds herself in her favorite fictional series town. How is this happening? The characters are all there. The town is, it would be the equivalent of waking up in Stars Hollow for me. So I kept picturing Stars Hollow as this small town in this book, and it was really cute. I think people who gave up midway really missed out on goosebumps that happen at the end when you find out what has been going on. There is a little element of mystery to it. I feel like that's always the case when you've got like magical realism going on. The ending, this is spoiler free, but it was so good, so romantic, so incredibly sweet. I thought it tied up really nicely. So I actually gave this book 4 stars. It wasn't a 5-star read. There for a little while I was undecided between 3.5 and 4 because it is kind of slow, but by the end I was like, oh yeah, that was really worth it. So I really enjoyed this one. 4 stars, a novel love story. So next is a book called Elizabeth of East Hampton, and this is actually a Pride and Prejudice retelling that takes place in the Hamptons. I was so excited about this. I actually received this as a gifted copy. It came out on August 6th, so it's a relatively new release, and I don't want to say I didn't enjoy this one because it was fine, but I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, it was fine. I'm not super attached to the story. I wasn't when I was reading it. I thought it was cute overall. I gave this one 3 stars, and unfortunately I just don't have a lot to say about it. There wasn't really anything wrong with it. It's funny because a novel love story I felt like moved a little slow. This book moved almost too quickly emotionally. I was like, wait, what is going on? Why is all of this happening so fast? Like, and I get why, again, because you want to follow the path of the movie, but I feel like it was easier done in the movie than in the book because, I don't know, I hope that makes sense. I just thought emotionally they moved really quickly. I'm here, I'm believing it, but also it didn't fully hit for me. It just didn't. So 3 stars, which for me is not a bad rating. It was fine. You know, it was fine. Next, unfortunately, was a dud for me. This is called The Cactus by Sarah Haywood. I just feel like I went into this with totally wrong expectations. I thought I was going to be reading a really cutesy rom-com style book. It's got the cute illustrated I love the cover. I actually owned this book for like 2 or 3 years. I've never read it, and it is one that I finally picked up in my mission to read through my physical TBR. I have not been spending very much money on books this year. I'm kind of proud of myself, and I've been going through my shelves and, you know, reading what I already own. I had such high hopes for this. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the main character. I thought she was really annoying. I didn't like really any of the characters, and so that's why I couldn't connect to the story at all. I am so emotionally unattached to this story because I don't really like any of the main characters. It just definitely wasn't for me. The main character, the way her internal monologue is portrayed, she just seems very negative. Like, she was very self-absorbed, very, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the main character. The love interest was the best character in this book in my opinion, but even he was like, no. And I thought this was going to be a super cute romance. The romance was honestly a side plot. The whole plot was her stubbornly fighting her brother about something in court, and the fallout of that. I gave that one 2 stars. That was a 2-star read. The next book is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I know this one was all over Bookstagram, BookTube, BookTok, all of the book platforms, and that's because the first book, which was Powerless, was such a hit. And here's the thing, I feel like a lot of people didn't love this one as much. Understandably, I liked it fine, but that's also, I will recognize that I've been in a romance reading mood. It's all I've wanted to reach for, and this whole book was just angst. The angst part of it. It's like if you took a romance book and you just pulled out all the angst of one and you just like set it in a somewhat fantasy setting and you prolonged the characters in that state the entire book. That's kind of what was going on here. I like angst, and so I was like, oh, okay. I was getting into that, but that being said, the plot was not plotting. Nothing happened in this book really. So if I'm rating this as an overall fantasy book, I would have given it like 2.5 stars, but if I'm rating the romance, I would give it 4. So honestly, I gave it, I think, a 4 because it hit well at the time. I think reflecting on that now, I would give this more like a 3.5-star rating. So do with that what you will. It's kind of hard to talk about this one without spoiling the plot of the first book, but yeah, just know that it definitely suffers from the second book slump that is so common, unfortunately, in romantasy series. So the next book is a 5-star read. I loved this one. It was Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. I have slowly been going through these B.K. Borison books. I read Love Light Farms not long after it came out. Loved it. I read, oh gosh, what was the next one? In the Weeds. I read that as a part of my spring TBR. I'm a mood reader, but I do like to put ideas out there, you know, for what I kind of want to read each season. And then I specifically waited until summertime to read Mixed Signals, and I'm so glad I did. It's so cute. The main character owns a bakery. It's a small town romance. He has always kind of had a crush on her, and essentially they both keep struggling to date, and so they're like, why don't we help each other figure out why we're not succeeding in dating by dating each other and giving each other feedback, kind of. So it was a really cute setup, kind of forced proximity, kind of, it's not really fake dating, but dating of convenience, I guess you could say. So Mixed Signals was 5 stars for me. Also, this author just came out with a new book, Business Casual. That is a fall set book, so the entire interconnected series, each book is like the essence of a season. So I'm really excited to read Business Casual. A lot of people I've heard say it's one of their favorites of the series, so we'll see. The third book I read this summer, because we're going backwards, was another 5-star read for me. Okay, this one might just be my favorite book that I read all summer, and it is one of my top of the year already. I say already like it's not already August. And I'm talking about Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This one is so stinking cute. I read this one at the beach, which was just like perfect timing for it. And I think the plot of this is just so incredibly cute. So basically, Justin, so it's Justin and Emma. So Justin makes a Reddit post talking about how every woman he dates, the next person they get with ends up being the love of their life. They get married, whatever, happily ever after. And so this Reddit post goes viral, and Emma sees it, and she's like, oh my gosh, the exact same thing happens to me. So they're like, wait, why don't we date each other? And theoretically, we should meet our person after we break up. But obviously, they're the main characters of a love story, and I'll leave it at that because you know what's likely gonna happen. It's so stinking cute. All I'm gonna say as well about this one is, if you know, you know, I laughed out loud, giggled, and blushed at the scene with the unicorn floaty. But it was just so stinking cute. This is one of those feel-good romances that just puts you in the best mood. Super cute. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. 5 stars. Okay, so only 2 more books. The next one is Gold by Raven Kennedy. I gave this one 3 stars. So I love this series in general. I feel very lucky. I was actually on a team that helped promote the first 3 books in the Plated Prisoner series. So I actually have 3 signed copies of the first 3 books, and they're like some of my favorite books on my shelf. I still really like the series, but I also kind of feel like it's going on a little too long. I really feel like this could have been a 3 or 4 book series, and I think it's the 5th book. It just dragged on for me. It was a little slow. It was good though. It was definitely, it's hard to talk about the plot again without spoiling the previous books too much, but this one had a lot of self-actualization for the main character, so that was cool to see. And the final installment in the Plated Prisoner series actually comes out within the next few months, so I'll be excited. And yeah, so Gold got 3 stars for me. And then the very first book I read to start off the summer was actually Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. This one's a really cute, opposites attract. I gave this one 4 stars. Basically what happens in this one, just a general idea, is that Opal wins the lottery. Okay, awesome. She is at a point where she feels really stuck in life. She ends up buying this house on this beautiful land where she's going to pursue her artistic dreams. When she shows up, Pepper is there, and Pepper is the granddaughter of the owner of the house. When the grandmother passed away, the house got passed on to Pepper's mother, and they do not have a good relationship, and so Pepper did not know that her mother sold the house. She's trying to find the will to the house. She knows that she's supposed to be the one that inherits it, so who's gonna get the house, who's not. And in the meantime, they're both there, stuck together. They could not be more different, and this one was a great one to start off the summer with. Obviously, I'm a romance reader, so I love romance year-round, but during this time of year, it feels extra sweet. So yeah, I gave 4 stars to Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. Hi again, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments your thoughts on any of the books that I mentioned today. I want to know, do we agree, do we disagree? That's so fun for me. And then I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'm really excited to kind of get back into posting on here. All right, so bye.